So again, today is section 1-3. We're going to be dealing with three variable systems of equations. So we're going to basically take the skills of us solving a system and applying it to three variables. Okay? Now, just like how before, it's laid down to a few steps to help you, when it comes to solving these. Okay? So make sure you guys get down the goal. Make sure you get down the goal. So, step one, when it comes to solving a system with three variables, we're going to use an example, of course. You want to create two pairs of equations and eliminate the same variable for each pair. Okay? So as you can see, you got equation A, equation B, and equation C. The goal is you're going to have to eliminate the same variable for two different pairs of equations. Okay? Now, if we take a look, we have 4x minus 3y plus z equals negative 10, 2x plus y plus 3z equals 0, and negative x plus 2y minus 5z equals 17. You have to decide which variable you're going to eliminate, okay? Because you're going to eliminate it two different times between two different sets of equations. So which variable do you want to eliminate? X, okay. We'll eliminate x. But I also want to just let you guys know, it doesn't always have to be x, okay? It could be any other variable, okay? But we're going to eliminate x. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two pairs of equations. Let's pair B and C together and A and C together, okay? Now, we could have done A and B and B and C. We could have done A and B and A and C. Okay, it really doesn't matter. All right, but you want to pair two different ones. Okay, and the reason why you want to pair them is because you need to eliminate x from both pairs. So if I look at A and C, okay, that is 4x minus 3y plus z equals negative 10, and negative x plus 2y minus 5z equals 17. I need to eliminate x from these two equations. How do I do that? Multiply. I need to multiply the bottom one by 4 because if I'm eliminating x, which is the one that y'all wanted to eliminate, I need to multiply that bottom equation by 4. So, y'all got a lot of space. That's good. I write too big for this, so this is going to be kind of challenging for me. All right? So now what I'm going to have is I don't do nothing to that first equation. But I'm going to multiply that bottom equation by 4. 4 times negative x is what? Negative 4x. 4 times 2y is positive 8y. What's 4 times negative 5z? Negative 20z equals, what's 4 times 17? 68. All right? So now my x's are going to cancel out. What's negative 3y plus 8y? 5y. And what's z minus 20z? Negative what? 19z equals was negative 10 plus 68. 58. This right, oh, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm going fast. Okay, good. At any point in time, something doesn't make sense, you stop me. So now, this is good. Now we just have an equation that has two variables, okay? Now we're going to have to do the exact same thing, except this time we're going to use equations B and C. And we're going to eliminate x again. We do that in the same step one. So, like I said, you guys have more space than I do, okay? Now I gotta try to figure out how I'm gonna fit this all in. Okay, I'm just gonna extend the page a little bit and right below this line. So now I'm gonna take equations B and C, and I'm still gonna eliminate X. So that's 2X plus Y plus 3Z equals 0, and negative X plus 2Y minus 5Z equals 17. I gotta eliminate the same variable. That's key. It has to be the same variable. How do I do that? How do I eliminate X? I gotta multiply again that bottom equation by 2 to eliminate X. So the first equation stays the same, but the second equation turns into what when I multiply it by 2? Negative 2X plus 4Y minus 10Z equals 34. My X's cancel out. What's Y plus 4Y? What's 3Z minus 10Z? 0 plus 34, that's 34. And we are done with step 1. Any questions on step 1? The goal of step 1 is to eliminate the same variable from 2 different pairs of the equations. So that way now we have a normal system that has 2 variables. 5Y minus 19Z equals 58. And then 5Y minus 7Z equals 34. Now we just have a regular 2 variable system. And then we just do it like how we've been doing. Solving and using elimination to solve for one of those variables. Which variable do you want to eliminate? Y, okay. So that means I need to do something to eliminate Y. Does it matter which one?
Bottom one.
No, okay, so we'll multiply the bottom one by negative 1. So the top equation stays the same. So the bottom equation just gets negated. So that's a negative 5Y plus 7Z equals a negative 34. Be very careful, okay? The 3 variable ones, if you lose a sign, like you gotta go all the way back to the beginning to figure out where you made your error, okay? So double check that I distribute correctly.
Which ones can you use the 1 instead of the actual number on when they're both the same?
When they're both the same coefficient, so since both of these were 5, it's just negative 1.
Okay.
And another reason why I chose C back in step 1 was because it was a negative X there. So then that way I only had to multiply one equation and not both equations. Make sense? Okay. Have we already solved this system? We eliminated our Y's. What's negative 19Z plus 7Z? Negative 12Z. What's 58 minus 34? Divide both sides.
Z equals 2.
Careful.
Negative.
Negative 2. So we have one of our solutions. Okay? Questions on step 1 or step 2? Step 3 says now we need to solve for the second variable by plugging the variable from step 2 into one of the equations from step 1. Okay? Now, we're talking about, I'm talking about the 2 variable equations, right? Wasn't one of them 5y minus 19z?
Yes, equals 58.
equals 58. So we need to take one of those two variable equations and plug the solution we got for z in. Okay, what do we get for z?
2, negative 2.
So I'm gonna plug negative 2 in. Gonna multiply. What's that?
That'd be a positive.
It's gonna be positive because it was a minus 19 times a negative 2, so that turns to a positive 38. Gonna subtract 38 from both sides, which gives me.
Oh, well, 20, and then, like, sorry, and then you divide by 5.
So y equals 4. Mm-hmm. That was step 3. Now we're going to take both variables, which are z and y, and we're going to plug them back into the original equations to find the final variable. Doesn't matter. Okay, which one? A? Okay. Can y'all help me out? Actually, never mind. I'll see right here. So, 4x minus 3y plus z equals negative 10. I'm going to plug in 4 for y, and what was z? Negative 2 for z. Three times 4 is? This becomes a minus 12, a positive and a minus, and a negative. What does that make?
Negative.
A negative. So it's going to be a minus 2 equals negative 10. Negative 12 minus 2. Negative 14. Remember, same signs, you add and keep the sign. Now what? What's negative 10 plus 14? Divide both sides. What does x equal?
1.
Now listen, you did all of that work. Check it, okay? We talked about how to check your solutions the other day, but this is definitely a key step in step 5. Check your solutions by plugging into one of the other 3 equations, right? Since we used the first equation to find our final variable, don't use that one to plug it in. Use a different one. So since we use A to do step 4, let's use B or C to check it. Which one do you want to use? B? So B is 2x plus y plus 3z equals 0. We got 1 for x, 4 for y, and a negative 2 for z. We're just checking because we did all that work. We definitely want to make sure that we got it right. What's 1 times 2? Plus 4. What's 3 times a negative 2? Does 4 plus 2 minus 6 equal 0? Yes, it does. So we did a good job. So our final solution, which is written as a point, x, y, then z. Just like the alphabet. X, Y, Z. Okay. So we use step 1. Pick 2 pairs of equations, eliminate the same variable. Step 2. Solve those new equations, just like how we've been doing. Then we'll find one solution. Step 3, we take that solution and plug it into one of the 2 variable equations. And then step 4, we take the 2 solutions we now have and plug it back into one of the originals. And we got to check just to make sure. Okay? Anytime you ever ask, well, am I right? Well, did you check it? Did you plug it in? To make it a true statement? And then, of course, you write your solution x, y, you haven't already, glue that in, and then go to your next available page. We're definitely going to practice this. Definitely going to practice this. Okay?
Go and split the page.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Flip page. And then get down this system. Make sure you copy down correctly because that will definitely mess you up if you don't copy down correctly. So I'm going to label this one A, B, and C. There. My suggestion to you is I will always opt for the variable to eliminate that has 1 as its coefficient. Okay? That usually makes things a little bit easier because you can manipulate that one a lot easier. Okay? So, what variable do you want to eliminate? Y? I would say Y would be a good one to eliminate, okay? So we're going to eliminate Y to start out with for step 1, and now we need 2 pairs of equations. So you want to do A and C for the first one? Okay, so if we do A and C for the first one, which ones can we do for the second one?
B and C.
B and C, okay. Alright.
Will that always work? Like, can you always do A, C, and then B, C, or will sometimes you have to change it up?
You could do, but to be honest, we could have done A and C and B and C, or A and B and B and C.
It doesn't really matter.
Doesn't really matter as long as we eliminate the same variable. But we're going to eliminate Y. So we have 5x plus 2y plus z equals 14. And 6x minus y plus 2z equals 22. I wish we didn't have z because I feel like my z sometimes look like 2.
Yep.
Me too.
But you make your 2 loopy.
Could make my 2 loopy. Okay, I'll try that. All right. So how do I eliminate y?
Multiply the bottom by 2.
Multiply the bottom by 2. So we're trying to eliminate y. And since this is a negative 1, multiply by 2, then I'll be able to eliminate there. Okay? So 5x plus 2y plus z equals 14. What's the bottom equation turn into?
It'd be 12x.
Minus 2y plus 4z equals 24.
My y's cancel.
Okay.
5x plus 12x.
17.
Z plus 4z. 14 plus 44. And there's one of your equations. Okay? Here's one of our equations. Now I have to do the same thing for the other 2 pair, which we said we were going to use were B and C. So, and as tempting as it may be, don't eliminate x. You've got to eliminate the same variable. Okay? You've got to eliminate y. It has to be the same variable. So how are we going to eliminate y? Multiply the bottom by negative 5. Okay? See, I wish I could go linearly down. Can't do that. I'm going to draw an arrow. You guys be able to follow me?
Or like if you could like somehow make that a smaller, like the computer, and then like the other one more.
Let's see. That's perfect. So now, again, equation A, B, let's see. we'll have a negative 6x minus 5y plus 3z equals a negative 20. What's negative 5 times 6x? Negative 5 times negative y. Negative 5 times 2z. And then negative 5 times 22. Negative, right? Don't lose that sign. Don't lose that sign. So now my y's will cancel. Negative 6 minus 30. And it'll be a negative. Then 3z minus 10z. And what's negative 20 minus 110? And there's our second equation. So we did step 1. Got our 2 equations. Now we got to solve this purple. Got to eliminate a variable. Z would definitely be the easier one. We have 17 and 36 for X. Z is definitely the smaller numbers. What number does 7 go into that 5 also goes into? What you say? 35. 5 times what gives me 35? 7. So that means I have to multiply the top equation by 7. And then 7 times what gives you 35? 5. Do one of those have to be negative, or am I okay? I'm good. So pull out the calculator, get these numbers going. 7 times 17. Say again. 119?
Yeah.
Regular is at 119.30, and I was confused. All right, and then we know that 7 times 5 is 35. What is 7 times 8? 406. There's nothing wrong with double checking those numbers just to make sure. So 5 times negative 36. 180. We know the next one is going to be a negative 35z. And now what's negative 130 times 5? Negative what? 650. Got some doozies, yes, got some doozies. My z's cancel out. What's 119 minus 180? 60. Negative 61. X. What's 406 minus 650?
Oh, negative 244.
244, negative 244. My last step is divide by a negative 61. And X equals positive or negative? Gotta be positive. When we subtract it for our X's, they both end up being negative. So when you divide, it ends up being a positive 4. Big numbers. But it's okay though. Okay. Now we need to take 4 and plug it in where? To the X. On one of them. Which one? The black, the blue, the purple.
Oh my gosh, you have to have another variable before you can do the black. So you have to do. Should we do blue? Oh, the blue's the same. I'm gonna look back at it.
You gotta plug it back into one of the 2 equations. The 2 equations that have 2 variables.
Okay.
So it need to be one of these.
Okay.
One of these. Okay? You want to do the top one or the bottom one? Top one. So it's going to be 17 times 4 plus 5z equals 58. What's 17 times 4? How do I solve this? So we have 5z equals negative 10. Divide both sides by 5. Z equals negative 2. Now I can plug it into one of the first ones, either A, B, or C. Does it matter? Let's plug it back into A. That's 5x plus 2y plus z equals 14. Now I went ahead and plugged in the numbers. 5 times 4? A positive and a negative make a what? Make a negative. We want to make sure that we are aware of that. Don't want to make any errors there. Combine like terms. What's 20 minus 2? Now what?
You do minus 18 on both sides and get negative 4.
Divide both sides by 2, and what does y equal? So our answer should be 4, negative 2, negative 2, but what do we need to do? We need to check. Okay? So real quick, we're going to check this. We cannot plug it back into A, so it got to be either B or C. Going to plug it in C? Let's check it. I'm going to do it right in here. Right in this little space. Here's going to be my check. You said C or B? C? Okay. So 6 times 4 minus a negative 2 plus 2 times Z. What's 6 times 4? A negative and negative make a what? Positive. And 2 times negative 2 is? When I do 24 plus 2 minus 4, what do I get? Isn't that what it equals? So good job. So 4, negative 2, negative 2 is our solution. Questions? That's what I'm saying. Double check. Go check your negatives, your minuses, everything before you move on to the next step. Try number 2. Careful. Try number 2.
We are not in any rush to start reading.
I like read to read.
Yeah.
So I think everyone eliminated A. Yeah. Okay. If I label these A, B, and C, which 2 equations are gonna? If I use A and B and then A and C, okay, cool. So that's gonna be 6A minus 3B minus 6C equals negative 3. In order to eliminate, oh, never mind, I lied. As we can see, our A's already canceled out. We don't have to multiply by anything. This becomes a negative B minus 2C equals a negative 3, yes? There's one of your equations. Now for A and C, this gives me 6A minus 3B minus 6C equals negative 3. This third equation, in order for my A's to cancel out, I have to multiply it by what? I have to multiply it by 3, okay? Just to save space here, I'm just going to do it here. This gives me a negative 6A minus 12b minus plus 6c equals a negative 12. When we do this, yes, your A's and your C's are going to cancel out. That can happen, and it's okay. What's negative 3b minus 12b? Negative 15b, and then negative 3 minus 12 is, it can happen that both of your variables cancel out and you end up solving for one of your variables already. So b is going to equal what? B equals positive 1. So when this happens, since you have the other equation that's in two variables, you can take that solution and plug it in. Okay? You can plug it in. So this gives me a negative 1 minus 2c equals negative 3. Add 1 to both sides. Then divide by negative 2. And c equals 1. And then I can plug it in, b and c, into one of the original equations. Doesn't matter. 6a minus 3 times 1 minus 6 times 1 equals negative 3. So that's 6a minus 3 minus 6 equals negative 3. What's negative 3 minus 6? A little louder. So I have 6a minus 9 equals negative 3. Add 9 to both sides. 6a equals 6. Divide by 6, and a equals. So 1, 1, 1. Let's plug it back in to check real quick, okay? I'm going to plug it into b. Negative 6 times 1 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times 1. That's negative 6 plus 2 plus 4. What does that equal? 0, which is what this was. So our final answer is 1, 1, 1. All right? We're going to practice this some more next class.